Hello and welcome to Five Keys to Thrive. My name is Ramona Jan and I'm your host for today's show. I'm excited to have you all here for today's episode, which is all about the five keys to redefining aging. And my lovely guest, Heather Hanson, will be talking about how she stopped shrinking and started expanding in her 40s and 50s. And if you currently feel like maybe life is not all that right now. Maybe you're just coasting through day to day life and maybe you're feeling a little bit exhausted and maybe you're just looking for a bit of redefining your life right now. This episode is going to be fantastic for you right now. My lovely guest. Hi, Heather. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm lovely. Where are you joining us from?
I am in Georgetown, Texas, in the US.
Lovely. And I love the color green on you because that's part of your branding as well.
It's part of my branding, yes.
Well, I'd love to introduce you to Heather. I got to personally meet her and got to know her over the last year and some, and she is such a amazing, inspirational, and really strong woman who's not only overcome a lot in her own life, but also supporting many others to overcome their own challenges in life. So Heather Hansen is best-selling author, award-winning speaker, and board certified holistic nutritionist. She helps women break free from survival mode and reclaim their energy, peace, and purpose through her signature mind, body, spirit approach. I think today, what it's going to really offer you is how to redefine aging and embrace whatever season of your life you are in now. Embrace it and create more success. So, today we'll talk about how to thrive in any season of your life. Heather, I know you have gone through quite a bit of a journey yourself to be where you are today, and you're absolutely shining today in everything you're doing. But why are we talking about the subject? Why is this important, and who do you really want to speak to?
You know, this has become an evolution of myself and my practice the older that I get. And it's interesting is because women oftentimes think that they need to get back to their younger selves of what they look like when they were 25 or when they're 40, getting back to what they look like when they were 30. And I found that women were so busy trying to reclaim what they had in the past that they weren't even living in their present and they couldn't plan their future because they couldn't see how amazing their future was because they were so busy being drugged back into being younger and not embracing all the wisdom that they've gained through their life and their history. And so this is really for women who feel like they're stuck in this survival mode where they're checking off all the boxes or accomplishing things, but they really need to reconnect with who they truly are and really step into a life of peace and not all this pressure and having to do and go. So
Mhm.
that's part of my
I'll
story.
bring an example forward, which our bodies, especially as women, changes with seasons of life after if you've been a mother or just with every decade, just our autonomy is changing. And I meet a lot of women who try to still be the body that they were and not being able to appreciate the body they're in right now. And I know as someone who works around health and wellness, that's also something that you're talking about. But do you find that similarly with not accepting where we are today and the beauty of today, also we quite self-judgmental of our shapes and figures?
Mhm. Absolutely. Sometimes the real, just realizing who we are as a person and our body type, that we're trying to achieve something that's not even, we're not capable of achieving
Mhm.
it because it's not who we are. It's not our body shape. And with media and magazines and social media and now all these filters that people put on, right? That it's not a realistic way. You are not going to live the rest of your life without a wrinkle. It's not going to happen,
Yeah.
right? And I used to hate my freckly skin. And I'm red hair and green eyes, and I'm going to have freckles, and that's just how it is. So it's been one of those things that I really had to embrace. And I've had to embrace the wrinkles because no, I don't look like I did when I was 25, but I
No.
sure do know a whole lot more. And now what I know is I wish I would have given that person at 25 more grace and more love because when I look back at the pictures, I'm like, oh my God, why did I think I needed to lose weight or I needed to do this or I needed to be fit? Because I was. But I was so busy trying to be somebody else, looking differently like somebody else did, that I never gave myself the grace and really enjoyed the younger years. So, and that's hard, right? You're like, look back, oh my gosh, why did I not give that person more love?
Yeah, and what a shame to waste your time and energy on focus on that, trying to bring back our bodies from our 20s. Like, I know I don't fit in them clothes anymore. And it's not just that, but I love, honestly, I adore women who are in their all the seasons of their lives, who truly embracing their wrinkles and their looks and rocking it, right? I see some older women on Instagram embrace their gray hairs and you see the confidence because they truly own who they are in that season of life. And it's so admirable that you don't need to follow what media says and what the mainstream beauty industry is trying to sell you. You don't need that. You just need to feel confident in who you are today.
So true. And embrace it right now. You know, it's interesting as I'm still going through this myself, but the other day I put on this outfit and I was like, you are going out and you're going to enjoy how you look in this outfit because when you're 70 and you look back at 50, you're going to wish you did. And so I still have to talk myself into, hey, you're going to do this. This is how it's going to be.
I love it. So today we're talking about redefining your aging. I mean, this is a juicy topic. I think a lot of women, I mean, I love this topic in general because like I said, we go through different seasons in life and our audience just need that reminder that aging gracefully in whatever time of your life season you are in, you can enjoy it. And I really hope that they get a lot of wisdom from you today. So let's dive right in. I'm curious about what is your five keys to the secret.
Absolutely. So, number one is shifting from performance, doing, to just presence and being.
Mm,
And what I found in myself and the clients that I work with, we are so busy doing and accomplishing tasks and being successful, but we're keeping our minds distracted from actually dealing with the real root problems, right? Any emotions that we stuff down, old trauma that we moved past, but we stuffed it down to move past. So we keep ourselves so busy. And I was told over and over again, Heather, stop being a human doing. You are a human being. And
mm,
I had to hear this year after year in multiple different ways before it ever sunk in because I was like, oh, that doesn't affect me. I'm just fine. Until I could clearly see, right? You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backwards. And now I realize I was so busy trying to accomplish things to prove to myself that I was worthy or that I had done enough, but I wasn't really enjoying and embracing all the life that I was living. And so it was just, oh, I accomplished this, let me move on. But I never embraced the joy around it. And I don't think we take enough time to actually celebrate our successes fully. It's
mm,
just, oh, we did that. Now I have to do the next best thing and moving up. So that's one of the most important things because we got one life to live and we need to enjoy our present, not worrying about the past and not worrying about the future
mm.
and what we're going to do next.
I haven't gotten to know you and the work that you do. I know you help women also unpack some trauma since you kind of touched on our bodies stores things within. Just briefly touch on how our body stores the trauma and just the importance of that presence and what you can uncover in that presence as opposed to the doing.
Absolutely. And the word trauma itself can sound like a devastating word. And
Mm.
trauma really just means there was too much going on at the time for our mind and our body to handle. And so what happens is at the cellular level, our bodies hold on to it and we stuff it down so that we're not constantly thinking about something. And so as we live our lives and we have these moments where there's just too much going on for us to handle at the time, those emotions get stuffed down in our body. And then at the cellular level, our body reacts to that. And then oftentimes we'll get symptoms. We're tired. Our brain's not thinking very clearly. Maybe we have some bloating or digestive issues. And oftentimes it's related to all this stuff that we had pushed down and we didn't deal with. So once you go through our process of being able to allowing the body to unwind itself and to feel safe within itself, the body functions better. And it is a process, it's very different from every person. And a lot of people think, oh, well, I didn't have terrible things happen to me, and that doesn't matter. There's still things within our lives that our body basically keeps a score on.
Mm.
And then if we don't take time to be present with those things and work through them, they'll stay there and then they manifest into other symptoms and other problems and health conditions. And even you can see it in people's skin, right? You can see somebody that's worn down from the inside and doesn't really embrace life. They don't have that light coming out
Mm.
and shining through.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what is our next key that we want to talk about today?
The next key is choosing strength over shrinking. And this key became very important to me when I was 48 years old and going through menopause when I didn't want to. Not that anybody ever wants to go through menopause, but because I had so much hormone imbalance my whole life and had a hysterectomy at a very young age, I had finally felt that I was balanced, like I was exactly where I wanted to be. And then all of a sudden, here's menopause. And and I felt myself turning into someone who I wasn't, right? I was just blah and tired and I was gaining weight and I was like, oh, what is this everything that I have to look forward to from here? And then I had to realize, Heather, you can have a little pity party for yourself here. You know how to fix this. This is what you do. And so I had to step into knowing, hey, your body wants different exercise right now. You're going to the gym, you're going to lift heavy, you're going to be strong. And that meant also working through some of the trauma and things that I had carried for my life. I actually had to work through some of those things too. It wasn't because I wanted to, I was almost forced into it going through menopause. But it allowed me not to shrink into the shadows of really just stepping back and going, you know what? Now I'm going through menopause. I'm almost 50. I'm not good enough. I have to step away from what I'm doing and how I'm living. It just really allowed me to identify you can be as strong as you want to. You just have to make the decision to be strong.
Yeah,
And then you have to take action on it in multiple ways.
love that. And thank you for sharing the vulnerable parts of your journey because a lot of times we don't talk about it enough. I hope this is really supporting some of our audience navigating through different challenges along the way. Well, dive into number three.
Number three is, I think, the most important one. And I wish every little girl knew this one is making peace with the mirror
Mm.
and being able to look at yourself and really embrace who you are no matter what. Because if we learned as little girls to just accept who we are, we probably wouldn't get into so many things like eating disorders or trying to be restrictive with food or binging food or getting Botox at 19 years old. That's not necessary, right? There's something that's not balanced within us. So we have to learn how to love ourselves and love the way we look. and knowing that there's no perfection in how we look. So if we're going for perfection, you will always find the next line, the next wrinkle, the next little like, oh my gosh, is that a stretch mark going on? I'm just really embracing who we are
Yeah.
in that reflection that's looking back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God. And I want this to speak to women who regularly looks in the mirror and keep saying, "Oh, this is not good enough. This is not good enough," because it's an internal narrative that we continue to talk to ourselves in this way, and also we pass on to those who are around us, whether it's daughters or nieces, nephews. So just speaking to yourself positively makes a huge difference. And if this isn't happening right now, if you're not making peace, maybe that's a sign that you may need some support and help to work through some of that on much deeper level as well. Let's dive in number 4.
Trust the wisdom of your body. Our bodies innately know what they want.
Mm,
And yet, oftentimes we push them to these incredible dreams because we're too busy to be able to take care of our bodies. And so when our bodies are telling us something, when we're tired, when our brain is a little bit foggy, when you have to weight gain, if we're not sleeping, something's going on. And I will tell you, most of the time is we're not taking enough time to take care of ourselves. And that can look anywhere from you didn't hydrate enough, you didn't eat enough food during the day, you're being too restrictive, and so your blood sugar was imbalanced the whole day because you thought you shouldn't be eating. It could look like just not eating the right types of food, but it can also be we're shoving our emotions down just to get through the day. If you wake up and you're having a bad day and you spill your coffee all over you, and then you're irritated with your husband and your kids aren't doing what you want them to do, right? And you're like, oh my God, everyone is driving me nuts. And you feel that anger just coming up inside of you. If you live in that state most of the time, our bodies are not going to be able to function appropriately. And it's really about noticing what in the world is that emotion and where is it living in my body, right? Because
mm,
those emotions do live in our body. And the way that we either process that emotion or don't process it, most people think they don't have enough time to sit and feel the feeling to let it go and let it out the door, right? So what do? Shove it down, I have to get to work. Oh, I
mm.
have to do this. I don't have time to do this. The problem is they just build up in the body and they become more and more intense, and the body's dysfunction happens.
Yeah.
Hormones, specifically, hormonal imbalance with estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, right? Everything we feel and everything we do during the day will affect the biochemistry of the body and whether it's going to work for us or not.
Mm. Yeah. As some of our audience may know, I'm pregnant with my second daughter now, and I constantly tune into my body to understand its needs. And it has served me intuitively so well as far as knowing how to nurture it, knowing what foods it needs, instead of ignoring the signs and going on for too long without something, just being present with it. It has truly, truly helped me and given me the signs that it needs to take care of itself. And we know we have more wisdom than we realize within our body. It's smarter than we really think.
Like we bully our bodies, right? Like, no, you're not going to get that right now. Just forget it, right? I don't want to hear you. But, the problem is it gets louder and louder and louder and louder with different types of things popping up. So you will eventually have to listen.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I could deprive it before we got on. I was like, I need to grab some chocolate because I know that's what my body needs. And it's not about depriving it of sugar, but it's just my body needs chocolate right now, and that's what it needs. And I don't care about a calorie.
Exactly.
There's a reason why your body is craving certain things. All right, number five. I can't believe we're nearly at the end.
The number five is redefining what success looks like right now.
Mm,
And this became a big deal for me when I was 49 and I was preparing for being 50, right? I knew it was coming in about 9 months, and it was a number that I didn't want to get to, quite honestly. I mean, I did, but I didn't because in our minds, like, oh my gosh, you're 50. You get to 50, and oh, what does society even think of you? And I went to this conference, which is an international conference. There was 12,000 people there. And I was so bored at this conference. And it was supposed to be a conference for women, right? It's supposed to be this uplifting conference. And I left early, which I've never done to anything. I always finish it. I left early and I was driving home. I'm like, what in the world is wrong with you? Why were you so unfulfilled by this conference that was supposed to be designed for women? And then what I realized is my 30, 35-year-old self would have loved it. And I realized it wasn't deep enough because I'd been doing a lot of deep, deep work and resolving some of the things that I've been hanging on to for a long time. And that's when I realized, stop clinging to the past.
mm,
You need to define who you are going to be. And this decade of your next life. Like, who do you want to be? Like, you can be anything you want. You just have to choose to do it and go after it. And so that was a defining moment for me in the sense that I think women struggle with this often. Is they're so busy clinging to the past or saying, oh, well, I didn't achieve that. And they go on to the things that they haven't done instead of actually creating a plan to do what they want to in the next decade. And I had to make these decisions pretty concrete. If I was just going to be the most fit that I'd ever been in my life, and I've been pretty fit with that, but I was going to be a 50-year-old with muscles. And that was just the bottom line of it. And I was going to do it without being crazy about it. I was going to do my one workout a day at 45 minutes. I was going to lift heavy. I was going to eat clean like I did. I was going to hydrate. I was just going to take care of my body. And I wasn't going to be restrictive about it. There was no diet that was going to be involved in it. I was just going to eat clean and I was going to eat a lot of food. And I was also going to stop playing small, which led me in those stages in speaking and really redefining my entire practice at turning 50. And when I look at going back, I got a little bit into human design and some other breath work and things. That's who I was destined to be anyway. I was destined to be the person going through this stuff so that I could help others get to a place much faster. And I was meant to listen to my intuition and meant to listen to my gut. And that's what makes my decisions and not get caught up in my brain and trying to overthink it. I needed to just listen to myself intuitively and decide what I wanted. And that's the easiest way to get there. So I really do challenge everyone of looking at where they are in their life and what do they want out of it. In the next 10 years, what do they want out of that decade? And just embrace everything that they learned from the past.
phenomenal. I love it. I love the wisdom, and I love that you embody all the things that you teach and, the secrets that you share. It's because these are the things that come out of your own experience and living through it. So I really hope that our audience today takes away and some of the stuff we covered. It's one, it's not easy, and two, sometimes it's not entirely in our own control. And so if you feel stuck, if you feel in the fog, if you feel like I just can't handle another day or I can't see myself in the mirror or there's no way I'm gonna wear something that's too revealing of certain body parts that you don't love. Like I said, there is support out there, and honestly, having spent with you some time with you, Heather, and just observing the way you support clients and what you teach, I really believe in your approach because it's truly a holistic approach to health and wellness and supporting the internal immune systems and our systems for a better wisdom to create a better life, more successful life, more healthier life that everybody I think wants to live. So before we wrap up for today, Who do you support? How can people get in touch with you? What are the ways to work with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I love working with anyone. I work with women and men, but I specifically love to work with women who in survival mode and they know there's something missing and they know there's more. I want to help them reconnect with who they really are so that they can step into a life that's led by peace and not pressure. So that when they get up in the morning, they just feel good and they don't have to do it. So it's about unwinding and allowing their body to get rid of all of the stuff they've been carrying and shed it so they can actually step into who they really are meant to be.
Amazing. And what are the ways that you can support them? Is it a program one-on-one or there's something else that you can offer?
Yes, I typically do my programs one on one because the human body is very individual and each person needs something a little bit different. And so I customize my programs to really work with what's going on with that person health wise so that we're working on resolving old emotions, working through old trauma without having to talk about it, but actually doing breath and energy work that helps unwind the body so that we can actually allow the body to function better and then also uncovering any underlying dysfunctions. I also want to work with the mind and then the soul spirit aspect of it as well. So it's a full approach and a full aspect approach so that we're making sure that we're addressing anything that needs to be addressed.
Amazing. And how do people get in touch with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So they can find me on my website at flourishnutritionaltherapy.com. On Instagram or on LinkedIn is the best way to find me.
Amazing. Well, I want to invite our audience, if they are curious, to go ahead and connect with Heather. We are going to include her details in the description, so do make sure you follow. And if you have enjoyed this, do make sure you share it with others and also leave a comment. Maybe there's something that resonated with you today, or you wanted to share some part of your own story. Make sure you leave a comment below. Heather, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for sharing your wisdom to our audience today.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Great to see you. Thank you all for listening, and we look forward to seeing you on another episode of 5 Keys to Thrive.